You have one unheard message.
Hello, Jenny.
Hello, Jenny.
I need some help.
You'll never believe what they said to me.
Help me, Jenny. Help me, Jenny.
Hi, it's Jenny, modern day etiquette expert. I'm here to help. All of your awkward encounters, uncomfortable boundaries, and questionable social interactions are welcome here. We can navigate them together with warmth, empathy, and curiosity because Jenny says so. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Today, we're going to be speaking about something that can get a little awkward in social situations, which is greetings and how to greet people. So let's go to the voicemail.
You have one unheard message.
Hi, Jenny. I need a little help. I've been hyper aware of my actions with in-person introductions and greetings, especially in the business space as a woman. I find myself being awkward when there's a mix of women and men and new and known people in the group during introductions because I don't know if I should go in for a handshake or a hug. I tend to hug women I already know, but then it causes awkwardness with what I should do with everyone else. I am all for a firm handshake, but I know not all women are. What do I do? Signed, don't want to feel weird, in Wyoming.
Well, Wyoming, I commend you for being so thoughtful in these situations. And I do know that greetings can be a little awkward. And I have some good news and some bad news about this one. The bad news is that greetings can be a little awkward. And I don't know if there's any real way to get around that. Especially when you're meeting new people, I think a lot about like when you enter into a room with somebody new and there's people that you know and how do you introduce them and do you hug them first or do you introduce the person first? Greetings can be a little awkward. And that's okay. There's a lot of awkward moments in life and we just have to get comfortable with those. I think that there's a couple of things that you can do to make yourself more comfortable in the situation. One is remembering that other people's comfort is not really your concern. You can only do so much. You can't get inside their heads and reprogram them to be okay. So what you can do is be warm and welcome and show up in that moment authentically. One of the things that I think I would do in this situation, if I wanted to hug the people that I already knew, is I would make a big show of saying, "It's so good to see you again." Because that tells the people that you don't know that that is somebody that is already a known entity. So I would make a big show of saying, "How are you? It's so good to see you again. I'm so glad you're here. I look forward to catching up," things like that. I also think that there can be a little bit of flexibility within all of this. I would think of other ways that maybe you would feel comfortable greeting somebody that's someplace between a handshake and a hug. I think of an arm clasp or an arm around the shoulder or touching somebody on their shoulder. These are all ways that you can connect with somebody that are more intimate than a handshake, but less intimate than a hug. And I think on top of that, you mentioned in this that not all women are comfortable with a firm handshake. And I wouldn't worry about that. That's not your problem to worry about. As long as you're comfortable with a firm handshake, which it sounds like you are, I think that that is a wonderful way of greeting people. And on top of that, there are ways to make a handshake feel less businesslike and more social or intimate. Again, clasp that hand with two hands or put your arm on their shoulder. But I wouldn't worry too much about how other people are feeling in that moment, even if it does feel awkward, because just remember, they're also awkward. Other people are also uncomfortable in meetings and greetings. But that being said, you do not have to and should not ever hug somebody that you do not want to hug, especially if they're new to you. Your body is yours and you get to control where those interactions go. So I just want to remind you that whatever you're doing is wonderful. The thoughtfulness that you're putting into this is wonderful, but I want to relieve you of some of this anxiety, which is that greetings are going to be awkward. You're doing a great job and you're putting so much kindness and effort and thought into this whole experience. And that is what people are going to walk away with, that you are a warm and welcoming person who is trying, because that's all we can do in any given day is just try. So thank you, Don't Want to Feel Weird in Wyoming, for being vulnerable and honest and a little uncomfortable in today's question. I'm so curious, audience, what you would have done in this situation, what you do in this situation. How do you feel about this conversation? What do you think? Is my advice good? Is it terrible? I'd love to hear. You can head to freshstartsregistry.com/Jenny Says So and let us know what you think on today's episode. Thanks for tuning in to Jenny Says So. Remember, setting boundaries and practicing modern etiquette isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up with kindness, respect, and authenticity in every interaction. Keep practicing, keep learning. Don't be afraid to stand up for yourself when needed, and never forget, no is a complete sentence. Do you have a question you need a little help with? Head to freshstartsregistry.com/Jenny Says So and ask away. All questions are anonymous, and I'm here to help.